In the beginning, there was nothing. The world was a dark tempest until the goddess cast her light upon it and created a continent where 9 races came into being. The dragonutes, the elves, the anifolk, the dwarves, the demonkin, the dark elves, the centaurs, the beast folk, and finally humans, like our protagonist, Light. We see Light saying goodbye to his family as he sets out to become a great adventurer. He promises them he will earn enough for all of them to live comfortably. Once he arrives in the city, he goes straight to the Adventurers Guild to register. Since he's a first-time applicant, he'll start as F rank. But before finalizing the registration, the receptionist asks whether he has a gift. He says he does. Unlimited gacha. The receptionist has never heard of it, so Light decides to demonstrate. He rolls his gacha 3 times and ends up with a bent fork, a rotten apple, and a piece of moldy bread. He tries to explain that it doesn't usually go this badly, but the receptionist simply tells him F rank is definitely the right place for him. Light then asks if there are any jobs he can take immediately. She tells him the simplest tasks are posted on the bulletin board. Unfortunately, Light struggles to read, and she suspected that might be the case since human literacy rates are low. So she lists the options for him: gathering firewood, hauling soil, and cutting turf. The pay is low, but Light says that's fine. He works hard the entire day and earns just enough for lodging. He plans to pull something edible from his gacha to make up for the low pay. But before he can use the money, a group of beast folk steal all of it. Light begs them to give it back. He can't afford a place to stay without it. But they mock him, saying the amount he earned is barely enough to rent a pigsty anyway. His money will be put to better use by them. They tell him to go sleep in the dump with the rest of the trash. Crushed, Light sinks into despair. Until someone reaches out a hand to him. It's a beautiful elf. She kneels down in the muddy street just to hug him, showing she means no harm. Her name is Sasha, and she belongs to a party called the Concord of Tribes. Her group has a member from each of the 9 races created by the goddess, except for one. All they're missing is a human. With Light, the Concord of Tribes will finally become the perfect adventuring party. They form the group with a noble purpose: to end racial discrimination and build a fair world for everyone. They say someone like Light belongs with them. They welcome him warmly into their ranks. Light happily accepts. Soon after, they head into the largest and most dangerous dungeon in the world, the Abyss. Inside, the party constantly has to protect Light. Even the slightest hit could kill him. Sasha worries about him especially, to the point the others tease her and hint she might like him. But when they reach a room with only one entrance and exit, the mood changes. They tell Light he is being banished from the party. Light is stunned. He asks why. What did he do wrong? They tell him he's useless to them now. He can't understand it. They were so kind before. They explain that of course they were acting. They needed him in their party. Confused, Light asks why. They tell him it's because of his gacha. Their superiors noticed his unusual gift and suspected Light might be a maestro. That's why they invited him into the Concord of Tribes to keep a close eye on him. But now that they've seen his gift is worthless and his stats are completely average for a human, the higher-ups have concluded he isn't the maestro, which means he's just dead weight. Sasha says she wishes the top brass had figured it out sooner. It was obvious from the beginning. She says she feels relieved. Even if it would have given them the blood of a maestro, the thought of having to marry someone inferior makes her skin crawl. The others tease her again, saying it was hilarious watching her dote on Light to keep that possibility alive. But enough talk. They say they're going to finish Light off before any other adventurers arrive. Their orders were clear: eliminate any potential problems and make sure Light does not leave the dungeon alive. They aren't just banishing him from the party, they're erasing him entirely. The Beastman slashes him with his claws and Sasha fires an arrow straight through his leg. The group delights in Light's screams. That's what they enjoy most about hunting humans. Their cries are like sweet music to their ears. However, the Dragonute says that's enough. They already agreed that the cover story is supposed to be that Light died in a surprise monster attack, so they'd better stop giving him injuries that contradict it. The Beastman reluctantly agrees, then tells Light he will make it quick. Light begins crawling away, begging for mercy. He doesn't want to die, he wants to live. Just then, a magic circle appears beneath him, a teleportation trap. He's transported somewhere else just before the killing blow, but he has no time to feel relieved. Being sent elsewhere doesn't change anything. He's still going to die the moment he runs into one of the absurdly strong monsters lurking down here. His thoughts drift to his family, but then he thinks about his party, the people who treated him so kindly. They showed him warmth and compassion. He admired them, trusted them, believed in them. He was so happy, and yet it was all a lie. They tricked him into joining a dungeon expedition just to kill him. They treated him like garbage, sneering at him, mocking him, saying they had orders. That's why they tried to kill him? Screw that. He will kill them all. He's not dying here. They're all going to pay. Unfortunately, a monster suddenly appears, one that's level 1000. Light can't even understand how such a thing exists. Monsters like that only appear in old legends. Did he really get teleported to the deepest part of the abyss? He doesn't want to die, but how is he supposed to fight something like that? All he has is his gift, unlimited gacha. With no other choice, he rolls it. A woman is summoned from his gacha, and she immediately annihilates the monster attacking Light. She says she feels no mercy for anyone who threatens her master. Then she tells him she couldn't bear seeing his handsome face and beautiful skin marred by such terrible wounds, so she healed him completely. After that, she asks him to grant her the honor of hearing his name spoken in that lovely voice of his. Light introduces himself as she requests. She then announces that, according to the maid's code of honor, she is bound to her master. She will serve him with her life, devoted until the end. Light, still trying to understand what's happening, asks who she even is. The girl explains that her level is 9,999. She is known as May the Ever-Seeking Maid, a super ultra rare card from Light's unlimited gacha. Light can't believe it. His unlimited gacha is practically worthless. There's no way someone like her came out of it. May, in response, asked for permission to use her appraisal ability to examine the deeper details of his gift. It is impossible for his gacha to be truly worthless, so she insists he allow her to check. Light agrees, and May appraises his gift. She discovers its abilities are buried under a heavy layer of conceal magic, completely impossible for anyone below her level to detect. Light's unlimited gacha can be rolled an infinite number of times, and the rarity of the cards depends on the surrounding mana density. Rarities range from the highest, extra, and super ultra rare, down to the lowest, normal, and error. Mana flows everywhere in the world, but its density is lowest on the surface. That's why the chances of pulling a super ultra rare card like May up there are nearly zero. But deep within the dungeon, mana is abundant. Down here, Light's chances of getting rare cards are significantly higher. May assumes Light traveled all the way to the dungeon's depths just to access the full potential of his gift. But Light explains what actually happened, how he was betrayed by his party and left for dead. May immediately tells him that with her power at his command, bringing divine retribution to his enemies would be effortless. All he has to do is give the order. But Light refuses. The reason he was betrayed and nearly killed is simple. He was weak. He needs to become stronger. He wants revenge with his own hands. He wants them to suffer, all of them. May tells Light that if personal vengeance is what he seeks, then upon her maid's honor, she will help him achieve it. She believes in his potential more than anything, and so, Light rolls his unlimited gacha again in the abyss this time to build a kingdom capable of paving the way for his revenge. The pitch-black depths erupted with radiant light and became the first page of his grand tale of vengeance.